Virgo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late September into early October 2023. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's going on for the lovely Virgos. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's see what's going on here. My gods, what do we got for my friends? So we move on into October. I hope you all had a fabulous birthday this year. But yes, we're just going to look at this first card real quick. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for the Virgos. As we move on into October, please. My gods, what do we got going on for my friends? Thank you. Okay, beautiful, loving, caring type of energy, which is really nice. It's very spiritual, very balanced. And this is what I like to see at the front end of a reading, regardless of what shows up within tarot. We love this type of energy, so spiritual and nurturing and caring. So this is a good energy to have up front. Now, before we really start diving into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the September subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading, let's talk about it. So we see this beautiful woman. She is dressed in that red headdress and red all over, but she is snuggling up to that white bird. Now, in symbolism, in divination, white birds always represent the light side of spirit, light, life, and love. We think of angelic energies, we think of spirit guides, we think of ancestors, and there is a very strong connection and bond here. So for a lot of Virgos, you might be on a divine path, or you might be divinely protected right now with whatever it is you're going through, whether you're going through rough things, whether you're going through good things. This card is a big sign of divine protection and divine assistance. Very claimable energy we have here. But this is also affectionate energy. It doesn't have to be all spirit. A lot of Virgos in this time, you might be a little more affectionate than you normally are, right? There might not be a big edge to you. You might want a big old bear hug, and I'll give you an internet one right here. But you might be wanting to give affection or receive it when this card is here, and that's a very, very nice thing we like to see. Maybe there's someone you're connected to. Maybe they need a hug. Maybe they need a show of affection. Okay? As humans, it's something we do need from time to time. We're social beings. But let's get into tarot, and I'll just put that over there. I always say the first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote, a starting off point. Let's get these cards, 3 in the upright, before we get intuitive. See what we got going for the Virgos. Interesting readings the past couple of weeks. And while we get this deck ready, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled Sudden Action Incoming. So whether coming from you or coming from someone else, it did feel like somebody finally getting a move on or making a move of some type. Okay, and that could really be in many different parts of life, whether it's work related, money related, relationship related. It's somebody taking an action like very suddenly or out of nowhere, which could go so many different ways, right? But let's see what we have for you this week. Those energies could still bleed over into this week. But as you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone you're linked to. You could always check your other alignments as well. But let's get these cards going. For my Virgos, please. What do we got for my friends? Okay, yeah. Now we still have this very powerful movement-based type of energy right up front. We are starting with a bang. We got the Chariot in position number 1. Wow. Okay, let's get a couple more here. So this makes a lot of sense with what we've been seeing in recent weeks. Strength, extremely powerful major arcana. Starting you off this week, my friends. Big Leo energy in the center. Let's get one more. Thank you. Okay, little stress. All right, we have a little stress-induced type of energy right here on the back end. That we'll address it. We'll talk about it. Let's get them up there. And yeah, let's go through real quick. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into the juicy intuitive stuff. So at first look, first glance, obviously the first thing I noticed, we have 2 extremely powerful major arcana right here, starting with a bang into some internal energy as well with strength, but we also have more internal energy with the 8 of Swords on the back, and it could be a little stress-induced. So let's break it down one by one, and we'll really build this story out. Position number 1, the Chariot. This card represents the zodiac sign of Cancer. So you may be connected to a Cancerian. Oh no, I knocked the Leo lion out of its bearings, but we'll just put him up there for now. When we have the Chariot, it is a huge card of movement. Now, for some of you, this could represent distance, situations with distance, travel. You might be planning a trip in the near future, or even relocating for some of you. But when I see the Chariot, it's action. It's either going towards or away from something. So kind of like we saw last week, the sudden action, this card is kind of the epitome of that. I also say it is the fastest moving card in the whole entire deck. So things picking up steam rather quickly, things happening very suddenly, or even out of nowhere sometimes with the Chariot. It's a card of determination. It's a card of being on a path and not wavering. And it's positive, but when we look at the challenges of this Chariot, sometimes this energy could be a little erratic. This energy could be a little unpredictable. It could also represent somebody that's a little conflict based, like somebody that, because remember, Chariots are instruments of war. That's what these cards were. Well, not the cards, but a Chariot itself was made as an instrument of war. So watch out for conflict or someone that is very stubborn when this card shows up. Now, we're going to move over. Let's get this Chariot back in its place and start talking about the Strength card, because we have another extremely powerful card, but it's different in its ways. Now, you might just be connected to a Leo. Maybe you have some Leo placements yourself. But this card to me represents somebody's inner strength. This represents willpower. It represents determination. This is somebody that is willing to stand up to and fight their problems with love as opposed to brute force. It's very nurturing, loving, and caring, similar to that card that we had in the very beginning. I also say there's angelic energy here as well. But what's the challenge of the Strength card? Sometimes it could be somebody that lives quite a bit in their own internal world. They're not really letting things out. And it could also be someone that lacks a little willpower. Now, that's not a common trait with Virgos. I mean, at least in my experience with Virgos, usually if they have willpower about something, or they're going to say they're going to do something, they do it. But this card can sometimes represent a lapse in willpower or caving in some sort of way. So we'll see what's up with that. We're just going to place it right up here, try to get these cards in place. It's not as easy as it looks, my friends. And move on to this Eight of Swords right here on the back end. There's a lot to really unpack with the Eight of Swords. So I'll just start giving you a list of some of the positives and negatives. The positives of this, it could represent situations and problems that can be moved through rather quickly. Okay, this is a very fleeting type of energy. It's not permanent by any means. So whatever it is, if you're going through stressful things, it could be solved. It could be moved through rather quickly, even if you don't know how you're going to solve it at the moment. But there are some challenges that come with this card. One, it could be someone that feels trapped or imprisoned in one way or another. Could represent overthinking, someone who's trapped in the mind, a prison within their own mind. The Eight of Swords to me could be literal imprisonment in one way or another, but on a minor scale, this could be somebody that has a little bit of cabin fever, somebody that needs to get out. A little freeing type of energy is necessary here. But once again, like I was already saying, it's a card of anxiety. It's a card of stress or even nervousness when we look at the extreme points of it. So I'm not saying it's you, but there could be someone you're linked to that is quite wound tight. And when I see the way these cards lay out, there's a lot going on internally with somebody, whether you or someone else, like with the fast sporadic Chariot, then the internal pointing here, and then the Eight of Swords. Someone might have a lot going on internally, but I want to dive deeper on all of it, Virgo. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here for my lovely friends, guides, and spirit team. Yeah. And this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Chariot. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Virgo, drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, let's see what's going on with this Chariot, with this action, this movement, please. Why is the Chariot here for my Virgo friends? Okay, we got the Two of Pentacles here. This is somebody, I don't want to say they're being calculating in their moves, but that could absolutely be represented here when we have the Two of Pentacles. A beautiful card of harmony, a beautiful card of balance. So for a lot of Virgos, this could represent something really good coming into your life, or you moving in the right direction. If you've recently had to make a choice, make a decision, or choose a path, this is Spirit saying, ding, 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 you chose the right path. Like, all right, you made the right call, you chose the right thing, which is really nice to hear. But for some of you, even though there might be challenges within here, within the rest of the spread, this does represent a win or victory of some kind coming in, or you moving towards it when we have a card like this Chariot. Once again, very harmonious, very spiritual. So we're getting good things here as well. Now, the only caveat I will add to this is that this is the starting point of our reading. This could be where we're starting from a place of harmony and balance, then moving into the Chariot. So really, like, the way the rest of this elapses will really tell us the tale. But there could be really nice things coming in, or you chose the right thing. Let's go in on strength. We're just gonna get that lined up there and see why strength is here. I don't feel like this is rough, unless, like I said, this is our starting point, like starting from a pretty balanced, quiet type of area, because the Chariot energy could be a little overpowering and it could come out of nowhere. So let's see why strength is in the mix for the Virgos this week. Remember, this is a very internal type of energy we're seeing with strength. Okay, someone trying to calm something down. Now we're getting a lot of Pentacles in the clarifier area. We have the Knight of Pentacles in the upright. For some of you, this could absolutely be representing you and your willpower being tested in one way or another. The Knight of Pentacles, pardon me, could represent other earth signs, but remember, it's a very slow and steady, meticulous type of energy. There is no rush with the Knight of Pentacles. It could be a messenger, it could be a speaker as well, but when I see a card like this that is so slow and steady under the Strength card, some of you might need to hear that a certain healing journey that you might be on, or something that you've been through that could have been difficult, it might take a while to really patch that up, because this card can't be rushed. So there might be something that you shouldn't be rushing in this time. Take it however it hits. But Spirit could be telling you to have patience and to not rush something. Don't rush this. Don't rush to conclusions. Don't rush a decision. Take your time. Like, that's getting reinforced to me. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. So do with that what you will. But I feel like for a lot of you, there could be some sort of important test or serious test coming in from Spirit or the world around you, whether you're going through it or you will be. And I feel like this is nice and slow and steady enough. It doesn't feel super erratic. Once again, we'll have to see when we get to this Eight of Swords, because this could be all one thing. This could be separate things. This could be different people. You just take it how it hits to you. I mean, it could be as simple as just going through a lull of some kind with a Leo, but let's see what's going on with the Eight of Swords. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the Shadow card. I like that we're getting a lot of earth in the clarifiers, because I feel like that's grounding the sporadic energy down on top. So let's see why that Eight of Swords is here before we recap the whole thing. Let's see what's there for Virgo, please. Thank you. Karmic energy, wow. Okay, I kind of get what some of you might be really concerned about or thinking, or it might even cross your mind in this time when we have Lady Justice underneath the Eight of Swords. Several messages are popping up already for a portion of you. You might be connected to a Libra right now that could be going through a difficult time. But when we get Lady Justice, more of that air suit, there's a lot of thought-based type of energy. Some of you may feel like you've been wronged in the past. Okay, that's just one thing I'm picking up here. Like, you've been wronged, or somebody did wrong and they maybe didn't get what they deserved. When we get Lady Justice under the Eight of Swords, it's like, all right, somebody's about to catch a dose of karma. Don't stress it. Don't worry about it. Focus on your path and your journey, because somebody is about to get served up a dose of karma, right? One way or another, whether you witness it or you don't. That's just the vibe I'm picking up here on the back end. Now, another little message aside from someone catching their karmic dose or retribution. When we have Lady Justice, she is the card that represents Libra. We just currently moved into Libra season. So with the Eight of Swords, maybe there might be something that's a little frustrating to you that's going to be happening in Libra season. Maybe you might feel a little crammed, or your mind might be going a little more than usual when we have this alignment. But to me, mainly, this does feel like, all right, if you feel like you've been wronged, or if someone's done you wrong, whether it's recently, whether it's been like an old thing that still doesn't feel quite resolved within you, all this energy that we're seeing up front of working through things, taking your time, don't worry about the karma that they're going to get served up, because it's going to happen. What goes around comes around. What you put forth, you will get back in return one way or another. That's a fact. I've seen it so many times in my life. But that's just what I'm feeling here. Let's go through and do a quick recap, Virgo. I feel overall this is positive for you this week, but let's go one by one before we get into the Shadow card. Position number one, we have the Chariot with the Two of Pentacles. Beautiful. So whether this is a really good starting point, starting from a place of balance, starting from a place of peace, we like this energy. But I did say for a lot of you, this represents making the right choice, making the right decision. So Spirit could be really highlighting that, like you did the right thing or you made the right move here. For another portion of you, it could be a win or victory incoming, coming your way, which we really like. Moving to the center, we have the Strength card with the Knight of Pentacles and the upright. Some of you might be going through a test from Spirit in this time, whether it's an important one or a serious one. But the main vibe I'm picking up here is whatever you might be healing from, whatever it is within you, whether it's old or new, take your time with it. There's no rush. Or there might just be a situation you're going through where Spirit's saying, don't rush it. Take your time. There's no rush here. Getting to the back end, we have the Eight of Swords with Lady Justice in the upright. To me, this does feel like somebody feeling like they've been done wrong in one way or another and that it hasn't been resolved. So do with that what you will. The main thing I was picking up is Lady Justice will have her due. Somebody will be served up a dose of karma, whether you see it or not. But it's important for Virgos to stay on their path of power. That's the big takeaway I'm pulling from here. And watch during Libra season, which we're currently in right now, you might be a little more wound tight, overthinking a little bit. So please take a screenshot of that if you'd like. Let's get you one shadow card here, Virgo, and see what's in the shadows. God, Spirit team, talk to me. What do we have in the shadows for Virgo, please? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end. Very introspective, you know that. So let's see what the Virgo's got in the shadows. And yes, if you made it to this point in the video, maybe check out the channel memberships. I'll pin it down in the comments. I'm going to be doing a very special reading for channel members this month, a personal spread for each one, so you might be interested in that. But let's get this shadow card out here. Just wanted to mention it once real quick. What do we have in the shadows for Virgo? Please, thank you. All right, cool. Page of Pentacles. This is the same exact shadow card that showed up for the Capricorn Collective. I wonder if the Taurus Collective is going to get it as well. But this is good, especially since you're an Earth sign. Spirit might be really asking you to reflect on something you may have gone through in childhood, or you might be holding on to that. But this is more of a positive card, and I don't want to attach solely a rough or tough meaning to this, especially since you're an Earth sign. So when we see the Page of Pentacles as a shadow card, this could, one, represent some unexpected talk or news coming in for you. Maybe someone you haven't heard from in quite a while could be hitting you up when the Page of Pentacles shows up in the shadows. But this is Spirit really asking you to embrace a new path of some kind, okay? Because this card is all about learning, communicating, but new paths. So whatever it is you may be going through, it might be a very fresh venture, it might not be. Don't be too set in your ways in this time, and I know that's it's easier said than done, but the Page of Pentacles asks us to be willing to learn, willing to adjust, and direct our path if necessary. So my friends, that's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet though. I'm going to give you the details of the September subscriber surprise. For the September subscriber surprise, I'll be picking 2 lucky winners to win 2 tarot decks completely at random. It will be a winner's choice. So if you want to get the Gilded Tarot, you could go ahead and do that. If you want the Everyday Witches Tarot, that's your choice as well. Any deck under $40 US will be given away. So if you'd like to get your name in for this one, it's 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. Second, let me know down in the comments which zodiac signs you get along best with. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, I'll put the winners in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you next time.